Alright, time to try another game, and this one is called Dungeon Dragons. So let's see how that plays, and off we go. Just before I start, actually, I could not get the Linux version to work, and I am playing inside a Linux VM on a Linux system, but the Windows version worked. So before moving around or anything, the first thing I notice is it looks like we're standing on this tile, but looking out here, it looks like we are standing on this tile up here. So I'm not sure why this rolls a die, but for perspective, I cannot. Am I not supposed to be able to turn? Isn't QE turning? How strange. Okay, I can turn with arrow keys, but not with QE. I think it said that this is. I don't think there are any settings or anything like that, so this is going to be hard. I'll probably have to play most without turning because it's hard. So where are we? Yeah, so the camera perspective is all wrong or problematic. I know that it is probably placed here where the player is, but the genre convention and sort of to make it possible to navigate well, you have to, even if you have the player character here, you have to move the camera back quite a bit on the tile. So ideally, you see, it's hard to explain now because it's so off, but the way this tile looks here, I would assume we're actually standing here. So you don't need to see exactly this much of the tile, but you should probably see a bit of the front of the tile you're standing on. And most importantly, so if you're never doing anything off the ground, then maybe you don't need that, but you do need, so let's see if we move over here. Okay, you do at least have this. So this is the absolute necessity, that on the tile I need to see the wall to the side of me. So I think it said space, enter something. No clue what the dice mean. I am standing on a chest now, and a space or enter. Well, maybe it happens something, I don't know. I have no inventory. I have a map. Is this just gonna end here for me? Space enter does nothing. And I cannot. I assume there's supposed to be a key here, even though the let's see, can I move back? It's open, so, but otherwise I would almost assume that it was locked with a lock like that. But I space enter, let's see, oh, E maybe to interact. Okay. How is it like forever? I have no clue what these are. They're not showing what they are. But we can just keep on getting them somehow. It's magical. So do they say here whether? So we don't know what this is. Okay. So I can move to the side here. Yeah, this is why it's problematic. Like, I am assuming I'm standing on this space and moving here. I assume I can move over there because I see this tile, but I actually have to do that. And that's also one thing, when you move the camera back, it also means that you don't have to be so much in the face of whatever is on the wall. So I cannot open it with E either. I walk into it. I don't think that's what it said on the instructions. What am I doing? Like, I have no way of doing anything. Or is this doing something? This seems to do absolutely nothing. I suppose I can use this, but for nothing I do. Oh, I can turn the space. Actually, it seems paused here. Let's see if I'm missing some instructions. Space, attack space, but I get no feedback. Okay, there. So the lack of feedback, and I also don't understand why we have space, enter, and E. Oh wait, what did it say up here? Yeah, it does say this is really problematic movement. Oh, sorry, I'm not showing that. But the movement keys really ought to be WASD for back and forth and strafing with AD, and then turning with Q and E. And then if you need an action key, something like F probably there. But also, why isn't space doing attacking, interacting with objects, and opening doors? And what's the deal with the dice? So do I need to... Yeah, there's a small sound there. It's funny little animation though, the things. This is evil, especially when movement is as it is. I'm not understanding why some enemies move and others don't. I've not understood that. Are they coming now? No. Who's fighting me? Where? I'm sort of expecting that to be the end here by the look of that. But in general, the textures look quite nice. Maybe it's supposed to be like that, but it sort of looks like it's wrong. Something's wrong with the normals on that. And I think I saw in the first room, because the textures all have this size, right? And then if we go all the way back, shouldn't be that far, and we turn around here. Here you have the wrong scale of the textures. It's fun to have this little thing in it, even though it does really not. Well, it's the same here. That digital display doesn't really say so much, or sorry, it doesn't belong, obviously, in the world. So look, okay, these look quite stretched, maybe as well. Was there? I had a feeling there was something in one of these outcomes, maybe not. We'll see, maybe it's not over. Yeah, no, okay. Restart or quit, okay, so that's the end of the game. Alright, so I think there's a good foundation, but there are severe problems with input controls, how they're laid out, and lacking quite a lot of feedback in the player actions, and so also in the fighting, and then the camera position. So I would recommend looking into how some of the other games work or look like when it comes to the camera and what input they use. But yeah, thank you very much for the game.